Let me help you with your vision, they losing their sight here. Time to send the world a message they might hear. Like make meals, I'm making it quite clear. I'm chasing my dreams and fighting my nightmares. I'm going real hard, I'm talking words you understand, I'm talking real bars. I'm going everywhere, you know I'm talking real far. Yeah, it's time to raise a toast to this thing to the Lord the most. As I go from coast to coast, I'm talking north side, I'm talking south side, I'm talking east side, I'm talking west side. I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide. Yeah, it's time to let you know how I spit it when I flow. When I go and light a fuse and I set to let it blow. I'm talking worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide. Yeah, time to check my status and the GOAT is what it be. And you know I'm over 30, so my level is a G. And I may be from the hood, but I'm way beyond these streets. And my pockets hate a diet, so they always down to eat. Even though they screaming fame, and it's always spelling me. And I'll never hang it up till my mission is complete. And I'm looking at you haters, I suggest you take a seat. Cause it's all fun and games to a killer show his teeth. This is for them cats that be screaming homies. Claiming that you real, but we know you're phony. Now I'm chillin' with my sons, they my one and only. Like the Triller brothers, yeah, we screaming lions only. Step into this den, I welcome all who will dare. Never met a David, tell me whom shall I fear? Gotta rep the nation, black and gold is what I wear. If you look to your left, to your right, I'm everywhere. I'm talking worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide. Yeah.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Roxamore Sports Network. We're here live at Arsenal Park in Lawrenceville for the Steel City Kickers. Happy Juneteenth and happy Father's Day to everyone out there. My name is Michael Costa, along with Max Keever. We join this game in progress with the Alive and Kickin' in the main event. Alive and Kickin' has jumped out to an early 7-0 lead, and we have the main event leading off the bottom of the first.
Yeah, you gotta love that name, main event. And it really does bring a bit of a hierarchy to the name, you know. Let's see, right now, right there at the kicker. Let's see, it is main event number 13.
So the one thing we have to worry about for Alive and Kickin', they already have a 7-0 lead as we have the first out of the inning. But they can't get too comfortable. The main event is very capable of making a quick comeback.
Yeah, you should have seen their kicks. It was pretty powerful. Let's see. Main event, a bit behind, 7 points to nothing, but it's a little bit too soon to make any judgments here. Switching players out. Trying to get the ball rolling. Switching players out yet again. Trying to get a good idea of where to take this beginning at. Can't really see the numbers for Alive and Kicking so well. But that ball is caught.
You know, Max, last game we had Royalty had their jerseys are styled off football numbers with the numbers on the front and the back. That was a broadcaster's dream. Alive and Kicking, while fashionably great, they are a broadcaster's nightmare, as it's very tough to see the numbers.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, I'm having a hard time just with the sunlight alone on the back of them. It just makes it all that much more harder to see. And that ball is beautifully caught. Main event. Rough start, but game is still young. They have a chance to turn things around. Second base, safe. First base, safe.
So main event, 2 runners on, 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Because they got to get something here, or else Alive and Kicking has a chance to extend their lead. And after that first inning, it's a high probability.
Didn't make the kick on that one. Number 29 for main event. A nice chip shot.
But that ball rolls
No
foul.
good.
They're using the 4-1-2's finest strategy of just trying to get any runners on by any way necessary.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, she pushed it a little bit too far to the left, and it goes foul.
Trying to get those bases loaded. Number 13, third base. 22, second.
So we had the close play at first, and she was just able to beat the runner out.
This is more of an ideal location of how they want things to be laid out. Bases loaded. Let's see how they handle this one. Number 13 rather. Progresses nowhere. That ball is no good. Base is still loaded. Kick is hot. It's high, but right in the hands of Alive and Kicking.
So Alive and Kicking there gets out unscathed as we go to the top of the second with the score Alive and Kicking 7, the main event 0. And while we're here, we have the league standings. We have Royalty in first place at 1-0. Renegade, Blackout, and 412's Finest, all with 1-0 records. And in 5th and 6th place, we got the main event and Diva Dolls, each 0-1, looking for their first wins. And we also have Hellcat and Alive and Kicking at 0-1. And the way this game's going, it looks like Alive and Kicking is going to get their first win of this young season.
Yeah, we shall see about that. Let's see. Alive and Kicking, starting off strong. Really living up to the title of their team's name. And first base, making a run for second base. Bold move there, but a good one nonetheless.
Yeah, almost disaster. She slipped and fell, but had the wherewithal to get her hand right back on that base. And we mention this every game. Though that ball is big and round, it is very hard to catch, as it is extremely bouncy.
Ooh, baby, look at that one. She's making it for third base, going for home base, and she's in. 8-0. Oh, what a stressor. What a stressor for main event.
And you would have to think the main event's coming into this game on a downtrodden. Last week against 412's Finest, as we have another pop-up to the third baseman, and this one is dropped. But the main event had a lead going into the last inning, and they had it slip away, and 412's Finest was able to take the win on the last game of week 1. So we wonder if that's in their head a little bit.
Yeah, no one. Look at that. Third base, from third base to home base, third base again to home base, and rinse, wash, repeat. That's 3 points right there to the scoreboard.
And that's our first inside the park home run of the season, and that makes the score Alive and Kicking 11 and the main event 0. And we do want to let our viewers know the mercy rule here in the Steel City Kickers League is 12 runs.
That kick was a little bit light, too light.
You know, Alive and Kicking is really coming out strong in these 2 first innings, getting lots of power on that ball.
First base safe. Yeah, you can tell there was a lot of practice made with these kicks. They really did emphasize that somewhere down the line in the practice compared to some other kicks that we've been seeing. But nonetheless, good performance.
Yeah,
good performance.
We've mentioned the strategy just bunting, trying to get some runners on. But Alive and Kicking says, nope, we're kicking that out of the way, and we're going long, hard fly balls here. And it's working to their advantage. They've got 11 runs in 2 innings.
Yeah. You know, I'm still optimistic. I don't care what anyone says. I'm always one for optimism, always one for games being clutched at the last second. Main event, you got this.
It's not over till it's over.
Exactly. And Live and Kicking makes it to third base. And right there, home base.
So while Live and Kicking does have 12 runs, since the main event is the home team of this game, they will get a chance to try to lower that deficit below the 12-run march for the mercy rule to kick in. So while the mercy rule is 12 runs, the main event still will have a shot to try to get it below that threshold. And as we still have a runner on third, no outs here in the top of the second, Alive and Kicking 12, the main event 0.
Yeah, that kick was with a lot of sass to it. She just punted that out there, but no good. There she goes yet again, right into the hands of main event.
And Alive and Kicking just ran themselves right into 2 outs. The runner left third while the ball was still in the air, forgot to tag up. So right away, the main event, 2 outs right away. They can get out of this inning with no more damage. They've got a shot to get at least one more run to keep this game going.
First base down. Live and Kicking has a chance to make things a little bit uglier with just the first base down, but a little bit too soon to say. Main event, though, you guys are the home team. You know how to hold them. And you certainly do know how to make a good show. So, I'm feeling optimistic for main event.
It just takes one more run to keep this, as long as Alive and Kicking doesn't score, all it takes is one run for the main event to keep this game going. So you don't need to score 12, you just need 1 to keep giving yourself a chance. So now we have runners on first and second with 2 outs as we have a walk there from the main event to Alive and Kicking.
No kick there. Just rolls right on by.
You do also have to feel for the main event in this situation. Luckily, it's not as hot as it's been the last few days.
No.
So they're not standing out there in the heat. At least today it's cool.
And dry.
And dry. That's the big thing. Not a cloud in the sky. But now we got bases loaded, 2 outs for Alive and Kicking. Can they extend their 12-run lead? And yes, they are able to extend it.
And
We're going to have a play at the plate. Safe. 14-0. Alive and Kicking. So now we've mentioned they just need 1 run, the main event, to get back into this game. Now, they're going to need 3 runs.
powerful kick yet again. Making a run for home base. In. And multiply that by 2.
A second inside the park home run makes this 17-0.
It's still early in the season. You know, sometimes you have rough starts like this, and then at the last, well, I won't say last second. I mean, later on, as you progress throughout the season, you get much better.
And this is only the main event's second ever game here in the Steel City Kickers League. So you're going to have some growing pains.
Yes.
It's natural.
Yes.
And you can only learn from this because everything is a learning experience. And if you take away, okay, we can't give up this many runs again to at least give us a shot.
Exactly, yeah. Sometimes that learning curve is more like a 90-degree angle, but, you know, practice makes perfect. Skirmishes like this, they're very fruitful in improving performance. Second base there by Alive and Kicking. Again, we want to wish you all a happy Father's Day and Juneteenth. There's some festivities going on downtown. You guys might want to check that out as well. I hear War's in town, and they're doing a free concert down there.
Well, that last catch brings it into the top of the second, with Alive and Kicking up 17-0. Now, in order for this game to go on, the main event needs to score 6 runs in this inning, or the game is over, as we will enter the mercy rule. So, Max, if you're the main event, what's your strategy here in this inning? Because you need to score 6 runs.
I mean, we've been seeing this really high kicks working to Live and Kicking's advantage. We've been seeing kind of shorter kicks, short-range kicks, low to the ground by main event. I feel like if they were to emulate Alive and Kicking's kicks better, it would really work to their advantage. It would give them more time to run to the bases. It stacks things up. But we shall see how they take notes going into this quarter.
Yeah, because before you score 6 runs, you got to score 1. And in order to score 1, you got to get some base runners. So they need to focus on getting some runners on base, just so that way they have a chance to extend this game.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, it's a rough start, but sometimes rough starts, what's the expression they say? Oh, man, I can't think of it right now. But anyways, point of case, rough start. It's not the end, though. I'm always an optimist. I'm always rooting for the underdogs. And, these athletes, they're talented. They put a lot of effort and practice into these matches. Game's not over till it's over. And even still, you got to keep that confidence going into the next game. Take some notes for where you kind of fell short a little bit. But, I would just say don't be discouraged.
And I like the strategy here of both teams as they're going to talk over just to go towards, as they're going to go over some strategy here. So, Max, if you're Alive and Kicking, you're up 17 runs here. You know you're 3 outs away from your first victory of the season. What should they be focusing on here?
Just keep maintaining that strategy that's been making them a victor in this match. The worst thing they could do is let their guard down. A lot of times when you're at the top of your performance in the game, you let your guard down, and then that's when the other team manages to clutch, turn things around. You can't let that happen. I see sometimes, like in other sports, people usually try passing the ball around to kill the clock, but that sometimes can work to their disadvantage as the other team manages to kind of get that last-second energy in that's really needed to turn the game around. That panic energy, if you will. They got to watch out for that. They can't get too comfortable. They got to play. They got to play like they're desperate. They got to play like they're behind. That's basically the strategy for anything. I mean, always act like you're a point behind. Always act like it's the last second. Don't let your energy down. Don't let your guard down.
So, Max, I just do want to clarify something. The mercy rule does not take effect until the 3rd inning. So we will have main event will have at least 2 more chances to add a run. So that was a miscommunication on our part, and we'd like to apologize for that. So the main event. So now, the nice thing is they've got 2 chances. They know if they can have a clean inning in the top of the 3rd, they can even split it down. 3 runs now, 3 runs in the 6th, and that will keep the game going.
Absolutely. Main event has a chance to get things back up in their favor, but at the moment, it's a little bit brutal the way it started off. It was like 7 points right off the bat, right there in the first. But they have a chance to turn things around, and that's what we're looking forward to seeing. At least get a point in there. It's currently 3:28. The game should be resuming pretty soon. Right now, Alive and Kicking is back alive on the field as they're assuming their positions. Main event, kind of getting a moment of respite here. They got their kicker in position. Main event came all this way, and they ain't gonna let this boat sink. Ball is in action. She makes a run for first base.
And she's I'd like to play there by Live and Kicking to toss the ball to first base instead of trying to hit the runner, as we've seen that backfire on a few teams today.
Again, those kicks, from my view, they're a little bit too gentle. They're too low to the ground. If they execute a Live and Kicking strategy of making those really high kicks, they could really work out to their advantage and buy them more time. But right now, we're not seeing a whole lot of that coming from Main Event.
And when they try to do it, the top fence gets in the way.
Exactly. It's like Murphy's Law is working here, but nonetheless, keep strong, Alive and Kicking, and Main Event. Second base and first base. Nope. First base occupied, as well as second base. Things are looking potentially good for a Main Event. See if they can make it to third base and from third base to home base. But
yeah, they need to do that 6 times this inning to keep this game going.
Too gentle, but it's still working. Third base safe, second base safe, and first base safe.
So base is loaded, 1 out for the Main Event. So this is the Main Event's first real threat this game. Let's see if they can take advantage of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, you love to see moments like this. And there we go. That's that high kick.
And that ball is foul. So a couple more inches to the left, and this game just got very interesting.
Absolutely.
You know, they did the bunts to try to get runners on. Now, this is when you blast it just like that.
There you go. And going in for a home run.
So the run is in, so it's now 17-1, Alive and Kicking over the Main Event, with runners on first and second with 2 outs now. Little helter-skelter out there.
Yeah. It confused me a little bit, the way it was going. Can only imagine what it's like being on the field in the moment. Looked like they were trying to have a good reading on where the ball was at and where to call things. But, hey, a point's a point.
And we see the wind picking up here. Let's see if the Main Event can use that to their advantage. Just get it up in the air and let the wind do its thing.
Does make me curious of how much weight that ball has.
If you give me a second, Max, I'll be able to actually tell you how much that ball weighs.
Right now, Main Event holding first and second base. Ball is into the hands of Alive and Kicking. And that's out.
So that will end the second inning, and we will bring you the third inning right after this commercial break. Do not go anywhere. And welcome back to the Roxamore Sports Network here at Arsenal Park in Lawrenceville in the Steel City Kickers League. We have Alive and Kicking versus the Main Event. Live and Kicking with the ball up in the air. And the Main Event does not catch the ball, and that's going to get a runner on second to start the top of the third.
Yeah, see, what did I tell you? High kicks like that can buy you a lot of time as they progress immediately to the second base. If main event would execute a similar physicality, not physicality, but a similar kick, so to speak, they would find it way more beneficial in the favor. Dear God.
See if the main event is able to stop the bleeding.
Third base and first base.
Runners first and third with nobody out for alive and kicking. Trying to add to their 16-run lead as they try to make this deficit too wide for one inning and end the game on a mercy rule. Now, the mercy rule in this league is 12 runs. So right now, the main event is down 16. They would need to score, do some quick math in my head, 5 runs to keep this game going if the score stays the same. So that's what the main event has to be focused on here.
Kick is pretty groovy. First base,